Take a look at this from Newsweek. FEMA tapped out for hurricane recovery as GOP points to $1 billion spent on migrants. Surprise, surprise. Republicans called out this spending after Secretary Mayorkas remarks that FEMA was meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have, while adding that the agency did not have enough funding to make it through another hurricane this season. Quote, this is easy. Texas Governor Greg Abbott posted on X, Mayorkas and FEMA immediately stopped spending money on illegal immigration resettlement and redirect those funds to areas hit by the hurricane. Put Americans first. How about Ukraine, too?
I would say that would be totally reasonable, right? They're saying they'll spend maybe tens of millions of billions of dollars on this recovery, but how much have we spent on foreign wars? In foreign assistance this year? It seems crazy. I mean, if you are the average American whose home has been destroyed by these devastating hurricanes and floods, it's hard for me to think that you are now looking at Zelensky going to meet with Putin or not Putin, with Biden or Harris and saying, yes, he deserves the money more than I do.
The other thing, too, is that you see FEMA has given over $600 million in assistance to illegal immigrants to host, for example, a welcome center in San Diego for illegal immigrants. $20 million for that was in April. And it's illegal immigration funding by FEMA all over the country. But for Americans, you've so little. And as an American, I find that infuriating. I pay a lot of money in taxes. And you look out and you think, like, I want roads and I want schools and I want, help for my fellow Americans when they really, really need it. And instead, they're giving away Xboxes in New York. They're giving away hotel rooms for free. They're giving away cell phones at the southern border. They're giving away cash cards. They're giving all this money in rental assistance for illegal immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, and people can't afford the rent because the rent gets artificially jacked up because the government can pay for it. They're giving down payment assistance in Washington State. All of these different things that you see being given out to people who are not our countrymen. And I think that that's a place where certainly Americans, regardless of race or language or gender or, unicorn status or whatever, can come together and agree, like, Americans should come first.
Well, and the timing of this is so terrible. I mean, we've had, a really, really bad run over the past year. All the liberal pundits can tell you that the economy's great and the GDP this, but the inflation is so high that nobody can afford anything. And these are very red counties across red states that are hit. Going into the election, what does that do for people to vote in such a short time period when they're not in their homes and all that kind of stuff? And just the economics of the sort of average middle class or lower American has been struggling for so long. And now to have this, it's devastating. That's really tough.
Do you think that this is something Americans will be thinking about in November? I've heard a lot of people say, the paperwork, some of the recovery efforts will basically settle in. The money will reach the people in the next 6 weeks. And that really is right about the election. Or is this going to be something that sort of Americans who aren't affected kind of turn their eyes away from and forget about? Because we are, unfortunately, apt to do that.
Yeah, I think that I think Americans will be thinking about it because I think in a lot of ways what's going on now in these southern states shows the disastrous impact of entrenched bureaucracy.